You ever meet someone who thinks the world is theirs to police? Yeah, I'm talking about the type who struts around like their HOA badge gives them superpowers, a clipboard crusader in a purple tracksuit who sees every nice thing you've worked for and figures, that must be a problem. That was my Saturday, one of those rare, blue sky mornings where the world feels just right. The grass is freshly cut, and the only thing on my mind was pampering my pride and joy, a guard's red Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Not just a car, but my personal monument to every night I'd spent building my software company, line by line, year by year. This wasn't a status symbol, it was a hard-earned trophy. So, there I was, standing in my driveway, cloth in hand, sun hitting the curves of that car. Just right, feeling as far from stress as I've ever been. I ducked inside for a bottle of water, 90 seconds, tops. But when I walked back out, the world flipped upside down. There she was, a face I'd only seen behind curtains and over fences, standing next to my car, pouring White House paint all over the hood in the slowest, most deliberate way you can imagine. It was like something out of a fever dream, the paint sliding over the red, pooling around the crest, dripping off the vents. For a split second, I honestly thought my brain had glitched. The rage, disbelief. Even this weird, cold calm just tangled up inside me. I managed something like, "What are you doing?" And she didn't even flinch. She set down her bucket with this satisfied little thud and looked right at me with a smirk and said, "I'm improving it. A drug dealer's car like this doesn't belong in a decent neighborhood. You should thank me." That's when it hit, a wave of racism so thick it almost buried the crime itself. Almost. And when I stepped closer, her smugness vanished and she suddenly turned on the drama, shrieking, "Don't come near me," pulling out her phone and dialing 911. With the speed of a world-class actress. Instantly, she was transformed. Gone was the vandal, and in her place was a trembling damsel in distress. She wailed into the phone, "There's a man threatening me in my driveway," with paint still wet on her hands. I knew better than to shout. I pulled my own phone and hit record, making sure I caught everything. The car, the paint, the whole scene. Seeing my phone only made her ramp it up. She screeched, "He's filming me. He's trying to intimidate me. He's a drug dealer. I think he has a gun." That word, gun, snapped every nerve in my body. Suddenly, my life wasn't just about a car anymore. I calmly narrated for the camera, "Ma'am, you're lying. You poured paint on my car. I have you on my security cameras." But she doubled down. "He's threatening me. He's yelling. Please, you have to hurry. He's going to hurt me." It was pure theater, and the audience she wanted was on the way, sirens echoing down the street. You ever feel the whole system shift against you in real time? 2 cruisers pulled up, lights flashing, officers treating me like I was armed and dangerous. Hands on holsters, barking. Orders, boxing me in like a cornered animal. I raised my hands, did everything by the book, and still felt that old pit in my stomach. Logic doesn't stand a chance against bias and fear. The older cop's eyes were cold, like he'd seen this play out before and already picked his role. His younger partner seemed less sure. His gaze bounced between me, the ruined Porsche, and the Karen, who by now was really putting on a show for the crowd. They separated us. The old cop never looked away as I explained, again, that I had video, security footage, and all the evidence they'd need. He made me walk toward him, hands on my head, right there in my own driveway while neighbors peeked from behind curtains. He cuffed me for everyone's safety. That's what they always say, right? Meanwhile, the young cop started looking closer, at the paint, the bucket, the splatters on her pants. He was putting 2 and 2 together, and I could see it all over his face. Finally, they watched my video. The audio caught everything. Her racist dig, her 911 call, my calm response. The younger officer's whole demeanor changed. He marched over to the Karen and told her, "We've seen a video of the incident. It directly contradicts your story. You're under arrest for felony vandalism and filing a false police report." The color drained from her face. She shrieked, protested, called everyone in sight a thug. But the cuffs went on her wrists instead of mine, and for a second, I thought justice had actually won. But you know how these things go. The next day, her lawyer called, slick, cold, and way too confident. He threatened lawsuits, accused me of harassing an old woman, painted a story where I was the villain. He offered hush money to make it all disappear. I told him to shove it. That's when I realized this fight was bigger than me or my car. It was about power, reputation, who could twist the narrative. So, I hired a lawyer, a real shark. Someone who hated bullies. She was relentless. We countersued. We prepared for war. And then, suddenly, nothing happened. No court date, no movement. My lawyer dug deeper and found the DA had quietly dropped all charges against the Karen, citing insufficient evidence and her mental health. Turns out, her brother-in-law was the president of the city's police union. He'd called in a favor. The old cop's reluctance to arrest her now made perfect sense. They thought they could sweep this all under the rug. So we changed tactics. We went public. We gave the whole story, my video, security footage, the timeline, to a national reporter. The story exploded. The video went viral, the world saw the truth, and the DA's office, caught in the glare of public rage, announced they'd reopen the case. The Karen side fought back with everything: media spin, harassment, traffic stops, bogus citations. I got pulled over so often, I could recognize half the force by their shoes. It was classic intimidation, trying to make me look like the real problem. But what they didn't count on was the younger officer, the good cop who'd done the right thing. He risked everything to come forward, blowing the whistle on the cover-up, the pressure from the union boss, the orders to falsify his report. We got it all on record. When it all broke, when our lawyer handed the mountain of evidence to the feds and the media, the whole rotten structure came tumbling down. The police union president was exposed, suspended, and under federal investigation. The Karen was ruined. Her reputation shattered. The city had to settle. We didn't just get money for repairs. We forced real change, a federal consent decree, a new oversight board, mandatory bias training. The Karen had to print a full-page apology, written by us, in the city's biggest newspaper. The union president was barred from law enforcement forever. The good cop got his job back, promoted and protected. Eventually, the criminal case against the Karen was reopened. This time, there was no one left to save her. She pleaded guilty, and the judge, who'd heard all the lies and seen all the damage, sentenced her to jail time, probation, and community service. Watching her led away in cuffs, head down, was the most cinematic moment of all, an ending you don't often get in the real world. It's been over a year now. The scars are still there, on my car, on my sense of trust, but so is the victory. We started a foundation with the settlement money to help others facing hate, crimes, and police corruption. The Porsche shines again, guards red and proud. Sometimes, when I'm polishing the hood on a perfect Saturday morning, I catch myself waiting for the other shoe to drop. But then I remember, this story, my story, is proof that the truth can win, even if you have to fight like hell to make it happen. And that's the question I want to leave you with. In a world where power and privilege can twist reality, what does it really take for justice to win? Tell me, what would you have done in my shoes? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about it.